All right. Hello, everyone. Looks like we're live. Lori Swanson here, CEO of Inspire Tech and the founder of Career Alchemy Academy, a membership program for women who are at a career crossroads and ready for different. We work together to realign with each person's authentic self so that they can do the work that they're most want to do in the world, having more fun, more connection, more peace, more direction. It's just a great place to be. It's enchanting. And the reason I say that is because today I want to talk to you about something I call the great career disenchantment. When sex, oh, that's hilarious. Uh, okay, let me say what I meant to say. But now that I have your attention, it's when success no longer feels like enough. Um, so this, I went to an event, and it all starts with a story, as usual, a Lori story. I went to an event, and the woman was telling a very, very inspiring story. She it was like one of resilience and ambition and ultimately transformation. So she was a young single mom who found herself in poverty. So living off of food stamps to support herself and her daughter. And she eventually became a top exec for a biopharmaceutical company. So she worked in their sustainability and social responsibility and impact portion of the business, working with high net individuals and around investment and support. Let me get a drink of water. All of a sudden, my throat got scratchy. All right, so she was um, very successful, very visible. All of these things are happening today. What a crazy thing. Um, very successful, very visible, very driven, very focused, ambitious, right? And so she was going along, sitting on boards, speaking on panels, um, working with these high net worth individuals, doing all the things. And she was also exhausted. And when she's telling her story, she said, in hindsight, um, I heard whispers, what I call the career nudge, that she was on a path that no longer served her, but she ignored it because, again, externally, outwardly, it didn't make sense that she should be unhappy or dissatisfied. She's financially successful. She is more than providing for herself and her daughters at this point. She's, again, sought after uh, to support other people and to hear her wisdom and all of those things. Yet she just she was getting more and more of these signs that something was off, but she ignored them until she couldn't anymore. In the matter of a month, both her daughters ended up in the hospital, which was highly stressful for her and triggered her autoimmune disease that then put her in the hospital. So all in a month. And that was really the what I would say the inciting incident that changed the direction, the trajectory of her life and career. So after she gets out of the hospital, there, of course, she had to deal with her health. And in that process, she was invited to go to South America and just, slow down. She began to listen. She took up yoga. She eventually bought a farm. She did woodworking, does woodworking. Um, and now she is the CEO of her own business where she deploys capital to amplify social impact for her clients. But mainly she does this from her farm. 90% of the time, she said, I'm at the farm listening to the birds, watching the sun rise and set, doing the woodworking, farming, um, just I mean, you can just feel the difference, right? Of the hustle to this getting up in the morning, like following the sun for your day, you know, doing what you love and what you're good at, but in a way that works for you and where you're at. Where it isn't that different, I would say, as far as the type of work she's doing, but how she's doing it's way different. So I call this the great career disenchantment, sort of like the great career resignation that we all heard about back in the day. Um, this is the great career disenchantment. This is when it isn't just burnout, right? It's not just burnout. It's more than that. It's disenchanted with the old definition of success, with the old way of um, doing your career, old expectations, old ways of working, all of that. It is uh, when we're starting to feel this disenchantment, that is the career nudge. That's your inner wisdom sending you the signs, whispering until it gets louder and louder, till we can't ignore it anymore, that you're suffering from career disenchantment and it's time for a change. And some of the signs that come with and how you know you'd be in career disenchantment, of course, is feeling exhausted. I mean, if there's an illness going on that doesn't make sense, if there's just, you get up in the morning feeling tired, you're just meh energy about what you have to do today and every day. Like there's pockets where you get energized and are excited, but overall you'd kind of just be like meh, you know. You're and that maybe you're hearing that whisper that might say something like, is this all there is? Right? That's career disenchantment. And so you're getting these signs, you're hearing those whispers, and you're ignoring them, trying to ignore them, can hardly ignore them anymore. Um, and even though it feels unsettling and even scary to think about defying um, eh, society's definition of success, how you've been defining success, how you and your family have been um, reaping the benefits of the success that you've built and the career that you built so far, and changing your path, the idea of that can feel really scary. I know. But what if, let me just pose this question. What if by not listening to the career nudge, you're creating something even more unsettling and far worse than, you know, than if you have to face the fears of change and the being unsettled and walking into the void, into that messy middle that I've talked about in the past. What if, by not doing that, you're actually creating something way more unsettling and way more scary? Um, that could be start with exhaustion, but lead to the hospital, right? Joyless days, um, crowded nights of more of the same, overextended, overworking, overexhausted, and all the buffering behaviors that go along with it, the ways you're trying to quiet that inner wisdom voice through overeating, um, overstreaming, all of those things that I talk about. That's just you quieting the career nudge, quieting the inner wisdom that's trying to point you in a new direction. It could be different. In fact, you could feel enchanted again. And so I, in as I'm writing through the blog, creating the blog, and I'm thinking to myself about enchantment, and even more thinking about how do you, um, how can you become, how can that whisper be, like turn the volume up on that whisper a little bit so it can be more clear? So I came up with a 3-step process. It's really like 2 plus a bonus. So very simple, 2-step process, plus the bonus. So step 1 is every day for the next 7 days, when you get up in the morning, I want you to set your alarm 30 minutes earlier, 15 to 30 minutes earlier, not much. Get up if you need to, or if you have that cushion already, use the 15 to 30 minutes. And I just want you to, without stopping for 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, um, you want to keep your pen moving. So that's, you can read about this, but there's something about when you do continuous writing, and not so that you don't stop your pen, it kind of opens up this channel where this whisper can be turned up, where the wisdom can come through. And so sometimes, like when I'm doing this, you're writing, so you're going to respond to a question. So to get you started, it isn't just writing about anything. We're specifically answering the question, career nudge, what have you been trying to tell me? I'm ready to listen. So you just say that, and then you start answering the question, career nudge, what are you trying to tell me? And you start writing. And because you're doing continuous writing, if you get to a point where you don't know, what to write next, you just write, I don't know what to write next. Hey, career nudge, I'm not sure if you have anything more to say, or you've hardly said anything yet. Can you try to say something? What do you want to say? I think you might want to tell me this. Or perhaps you're thinking about that I should change my career in this way. Is that something you're trying to tell me? You can nudge the nudge, right? But keep writing and keep moving that pen. And when your timer goes off, read through it, sort of highlight, underline some of the things that maybe are surprising to you, something that this career nudge may have shared with you. Then step 2 is to go through the day looking for any coincidences, synchronicities, confirmations of what the career nudge said. You will know it. You'll be like, oh, that's my career nudge sending me a confirmation. And that is, again, when you get home, then you just go back to that journal, or go back to that journal and just add those notes of what happened, what stood out for you during the day that confirms or is related to or gives you a next step in what you heard from your career nudge whisper. And then step 3, the bonus step is, and I do think it's important, is to share what you're doing with someone. So post here on LinkedIn. This is what my career nudge told me, and this is how my career nudge confirmed it or added more information to what I had journaled about in the day. Email me, post it in our Facebook group, post it out on LinkedIn, tell your bestie, just say, I'm doing a 7-day career nudge morning journaling exercise. And part of that is also looking for signs, synchronicities, coincidences, and confirmations. And I can't wait to tell you what happened. My career nudge started, like, honestly, today I was doing this, and what came up was a strainer and a mixing bowl. And I had and so I'm writing, yes, a strainer and a mixing bowl. But then uh, later, I was actually thinking about career alchemy and thinking about the word alchemist, because I have a girlfriend who's writing a book, and she has got a chapter or paragraphs or something. She's mentioned alchemist. And so I'm helping as a proofreader for this book. And in there, that's just got alchemy in my mind. And I thought to myself, like the 49ers, not the football team, but the actual 49ers who were searching for gold, would use a strainer, like sift out the dross, not even the dross, sift out the sand and the small pebbles to get to the gold. And I thought, oh, like, that is what I do as a career coach is I'm helping my clients, because that was what was coming up for me, is how do I help my clients better help my clients? And I'm trying to help them sift through the stuff that doesn't matter anymore to get to the gold. And just like the woman in the story that I was talking about, it isn't that her career is that far away from what she was doing. She's taken her skills, she's taken her gifts, she's taken her gold, but she's using it in a different form, in a different way that fits for who she is today and where she's at today. And so that was an interesting sort of message that came through in my talking to my career nudge whisper. And now I'm telling you, and it's like a confirmation, first of all, from my friend's book that I'm proofreading, where the word alchemy comes in. And that gets my brain drawing the line between, the strainer and alchemy and sifting for the gold. And here you go. And now I can make meaning out of everything. So why not make meaning? I mean, we all can, right? We're meaning makers, but don't dismiss that. Don't dismiss that sort of weird connection that you're now choosing to make meaning out of. Because for me, I'm excited now. You can tell, right? When I'm talking about it, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's what I'm doing. And the mixer, I think, has something to do with taking all your gifts, skills, and abilities that you've brought to date and making sure we're using the ones, that we're sifting out the ones that no longer want to do, even if you're good at, or no longer you know, are a part of where you're going, and just landing on the gold and then forming this beautiful, enchanting new career. So instead of pushing and forcing and plowing ahead in your current career, um, for now, just do what you're doing, but take that 10, 15 minutes in the morning and start to talk to the career nudge, see what it has to offer you, because there's lots of enchanting stuff that it has to tell you. And it'll be so interesting if I were your coach, we'd take that information, we'd start to build on it, right? So there's nothing more enchanting, may I say, than being part of Career Alchemy Academy, where we sift through all of the stuff that no longer is useful. We get a hold of that career gold, and then we transform it into something. We're the alchemists of your career, transforming it into that which serves you today, um, and letting go of that which no longer does, and creating a career that, again, and I say this over and over, that not only serves you, but serves the world and your company that you work for and your family. It's your work is your form of service, and it can be enchanting and, uh, you know, just shiny, shiny gold. So that's it for today. But come and check out Career Alchemy Academy. We actually have, if you go to the website, I think, I'm not sure where this probably gets you to the landing page, but the navigation bar should be at the top. Go to resources, and in there, the top one is for Friday. We have a career alchemy event that's wide, as I like to say, like when movies get released wide, first they're limited, then they're wide. We're going wide on this one. So it's open to the public, and we have a woman, Lisa Woodruff, coming to talk about organizing, because this month inside the Alchemy Academy, we're talking about the word simplify. And I will say that when you listen to your career nudge, it requires you to turn down, turn off all of the clutter and extraneous sentences and noise that's going on in your head, so you can hear that whisper. And that simplification, by turning down the noise, is what's going to lead you to what's next for you. And I'd love to be a part of your journey. So check out Career Alchemy Academy. Let me know what's happening no matter what, either on our Facebook page for Inspire Tech or in LinkedIn. And no matter what, stay inspired. Peace. Talk soon. Next week, we're on a different day. P.S. We're on Thursday instead of Wednesday, because I'm speaking. Yes, and that's a fun thing. I'm speaking for a company about moving women forward for women's for the International Women's Day and Women's Month, the that we're in right now. So that's why I had to shift the day and the time, but so worth it. So looking forward to seeing you all on the other side of your career nudge. I'm sure it's nudging you to talk to me.